Hey guys, welcome back to another Brad Tragic video. I almost said breakdown. This ain't breakdown. We ain't talking about wrestling right now. It ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna talk about Hulk Hogan. We ain't gonna talk about nothing else like that. We're gonna talk about another movie. I checked out Coming to America. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones, uh, Louis Anderson. Like the list goes on. There's like a ton of people in this movie. It's pretty popular. If you've never seen it, good God. Why haven't you seen this movie? Coming to America, basically what this movie is, in a nutshell, is Eddie Murphy is a prince in Africa. I know. Let's not get into the stereotypes and why they chose a black man to play somebody from Africa. Whatever. This was the late '80s, early '90s, so they did this kind of thing quite often. But anyway, he's from Africa. He's a prince in Africa, and he they trying to set him up with an arranged marriage. And the whole thing about it is that he didn't like her. He didn't feel a connection with her. Didn't feel like really marrying her. And the whole movie is about him coming to America to find a bride. Now, he didn't tell his father that, so that's kind of tied into the story about his father finding out that's why he came to America, trying to find a wife. It's really cool. He ends up working at a restaurant that looks like a certain popular restaurant that has a sandwich called a Big Mac. But the restaurant is not that restaurant because they reference McDonald's in the movie, so it's another restaurant that has a similar name. It's really weird. Like, I don't understand, like, why they just, and probably because they didn't want the stigma being associated with this movie, because this was pre-Disney Eddie Murphy. So this is before Eddie Murphy got all family friendly. This is that before that. So that tells you anything. There's some references in here that slide under. There's sexual references and things like that. But this is a classic. Like, if you like older movies with like Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, this is kind of a movie for you, because this is kind of one of those movies that where they just have random like antics going on and random moments in the movie that it's just really fun. Like, I can't really talk about it. The one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, though, that happens in this movie is Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy playing different characters throughout the movie. Kind of like, I'm going to name drop some movies that I haven't reviewed on here yet. I want to say Nutty Professor. That's not right. It's, why am I blanking on the movie? There is two of them. I think Eddie Murphy. Was it Eddie Murphy that did these movies? I can't remember if it was Eddie Murphy or somebody else. I think it was the Nutty Professor. Is Nutty Professor with a Hercules guy? I think it was. I think that's his. But whatever that one was, that's it. They do these impersonations where Eddie Murphy plays like 3 different characters in the movie. Arsenio Hall plays like 3 different characters, and I'm not really a huge fan of that. I liked it when like it was on Living Color, but because it was, well, I guess it wasn't like, that's not the same. But when you have them in the movie, to me, it's a TV thing, not like a movie thing. I don't want to watch that. Like, and I mean, some people even went on that make movies with those kind of characters, and it's like, I'm not a huge fan of that usually. So this movie did that, and I wasn't really a huge fan of. Arsenio Hall had a character that was a preacher. Eddie Murphy had a character that was a singer in the movie, as well as his main character. And they also added some barbershop characters, I think, that were people in the barbershop. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of that. But they did. I don't even know what to call that. Like, they had different makeup on, and made them look different. I'm not a huge fan of that thing. So With that being said, really, Coming to America is just really funny. Uh, Late '80s movie. And if you haven't seen it, has Eddie Murphy in it. He's really funny in it. Um, that's basically all I can really say about it. Eddie Murphy's really good in this movie. It's one of those classic movies. This and a movie called Trading Places, which I'll probably review at a later time. Probably I can review that anytime if I wanted to, because I've seen that movie a billion times. It's really good too. But Coming to America is kind of just like that movie. It's really good. You can see it like every once in a while. It's not one of those movies that I would watch like all the time, but I watch it like every once in a while. I know I've seen this movie probably like 4 or 5 times so far in my lifetime. So it's a pretty decent movie. It's on TV. I think it's not on TV as much as Trading Places. I'll tell you that. But Coming to America is pretty funny. It's pretty well known. So if you haven't checked out Coming to America, you should check it out. It's on Netflix right now. So if you're watching this movie later on in a different time frame, it may not still be on there. But it was on Netflix at one point. And you know what? Usually once movies hit Netflix, they'll probably be on there at some point again if they're not on there. So if it's not on there, more likely it's on another streaming thing. So just be on the lookout for Coming to America. And come back and let me know what you think about the movie. Leave comments down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, keep rocking.